So I'm starting a sheath for my large Bowie knife, and this is 10-ounce leather. First I made a template out of poster board, and made parts for all the parts of the sheath. So I just cut out the first piece here, and this goes like this, and that'll make the belt loop, and I'll be back. So now I dented the leather a little bit to give the glue something to grip to, and use regular wood glue on this. So I'm just gonna spread this around, and I'll glue this next piece on. That gives space for the knife, the distance between the blade and the grip sets the knife blade out a little bit. So anyway, I'll be back. Next we cut out the welt, and the welt is designed to give a pocket for the knife to sit in, and the edge of the knife won't be against the stitches that way, and it kind of gives the knife a place to be. So there we have it. Make sure the knife's going to fit in the welt nice. Okay, see you in a minute. So you can see this is an extra heavy knife. That's a 1/4 inch blade. 1/4 inch 1080 is what I made that blade out of. And it's got a heavy guard too. So due to the thickness of the blade and the heaviness of the guard, I'm going to go ahead and do a double weld on that to give a big enough. I could just put the front on and wet it and conform the front to the shape of the knife. I don't know. I'm going to have to give that some thought. Maybe I will do that, because the lower end isn't really, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this, how I want to do it, but I'll be back. So after consulting with the designer, that would be my wife, she feels it would look best with the front conforming to the shape of the knife, just because it'd make it look, the sheath look more custom made for this knife, which it is, obviously. So the way we're going to do that, I cut a plywood version of the welt that I'll use to clamp the top, and I'll wet that top panel and cut it a little bit oversized, and clamp it and let it dry and conform to the shape, and then I'll trim it. I always make a plywood template for my knives, so that plywood template, guard and all, 3-dimensional, is the template I use to make this knife. So I think I'll use, just to not endanger the knife any, I think I'll use the plywood template as the spacer as I mold that front panel and make it conform to the shape of the knife. So there you have it. I'll be back. Warm water soak. Be back. Leather was soaking. I softened the edges that'll be in contact with the leather here on a belt sander, so it doesn't leave any real sharp grooves or anything. So anyway, okay, here we go. There it is, all clamped up in the mold. Now we just got to let it dry. Stick with me. So as you can see, I decided to go ahead and shape the front, and this is wet right here because I just stamped the deer head in it. And after that all dries out real good, it's ready to glue on there, and that will sit like there. and of course get trimmed and glued on and then punched and stitched. So that's where we're at with it so far. Stick with me. So I evened up the edges and sanded all that with 600 grit sandpaper. So next I'm going to do a groove of some kind along here and then paint it black into the groove and paint the edge black, and then we'll stitch it. So I'll be back. Stand by. Okay, so now it's grooved, and this, it's so thick, obviously I can't use it all, so I'll be drilling the holes. And because this is such a big, heavy sheath, the biggest marking wheel I have, I want the stitches further apart than that. So I believe I'm going to try to hand mark the holes and drill them. I'm thinking like 3/16 of an inch apart. We'll see how that works out. I believe that's going to work out alright. Gotta be very, very careful, and I'm going to try to get a little bit more uniform there, but I think it'll work. Okay, one side stitched, this side's done, this side to go. I kind of wish I'd used a different color thread so it showed a little better. I don't know. Some people like them hidden, some people like them showing. But anyway, it looks pretty good so far. Stick with me. Almost done. So now it's stitched all the way around. And I like that saddle stitch that Ian Atkinson gave that tutorial on. It does keep it nice and neat. It also makes every one stay tight because it's knotted. Every individual stitch is a knot, really. Stays nice and tight. I like it. Okay. I'll be back with the next step. Alright, so now I'm gonna do the real work here. I'm gonna wax it, and I'm just gonna use a paste finishing wax by Minwax, and it's really made for wood, but I tested it out on some scrap and it works pretty good for leather, so I'm gonna give it a shot here. It just gives it a dull sheen, just kind of brightens it up a little bit. So, but it's a lot of buffing to get a nice sheen, so lots of work to do. Okay, so there she is in all her glory. I kind of like the slight sheen that wax put on there. I didn't want it real glossy, but you can see it's got a sheen to it. So anyway, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Please hit thumbs up and subscribe if you like the videos. I want to give credit to those where credit's due. There's a whole tutorial on how to make this knife on YouTube, posted by JDO Custom Leather. This is a little different. It's my version, but the general basics of it I got from him, so I want to give him credit for that. Watch his video. He did a knife sheath similar to this for his wife, and stained it purple with the black edges, and it's sharp. I mean, it's beautiful, which is what inspired me to try to make this for my first one. So anyway, check out JDO Custom Leather. Secondly, Ian Atkinson for tutorial on the saddle stitches. They worked great, they came out great, and I appreciate his input. And thirdly, When I first got my stitch groover, I was having a heck of a time with it, and it just plugged up. And I thought, well, it's junk, and you get what you pay for. It was like $6. And so I Googled, my stitch groover keeps plugging up, and it brought up a forum, bladeforums.com, which I am going to join. Pretty awesome forum. And there was Grizzly Bear on that forum posted about, well, somebody had asked the question, same exact question I asked, and Grizzly Bear suggested take a piece of thread that'll fit through the eye of that groove stitch groover, and put some paste wax, or camera ran out of memory. I guess I talked too much. Anyway, quickly, you put some paste wax on the thread and run it through that hole in the stitch groove cutter, and oh my gosh, it cuts grooves and brings out the sweetest little curl. Wonderful, wonderful suggestion, Grizzly Bear. Kudos to you, and I'm going to pass that on to anybody that needs it or can use it. So, thanks for watching. That's it. See you next video.